Have you ever felt a presence when you were alone? A strange feeling that someone or something was watching you from just beyond your sight. We often dismiss it as imagination, but what if it's something more? Imagine a reality alongside our own, hidden from our senses. We search the stars for life, but what if the greatest mystery is right here? What if an intelligence coexists with us, unseen, observing our world? Among the many strange reports of encounters, one figure stands out, the mantis being. Witnesses describe a tall, slender creature with long limbs, a triangular head, and large dark eyes. Its appearance is strikingly similar to a praying mantis, yet humanoid. Encounters are often marked by telepathic communication, thoughts shared directly, without words. The mantis beings are described as calm, ancient, and intelligent, observers, scientists, or even guides. Their mystery pushes us to question what life and consciousness might truly be. How could such a creature exist and remain hidden from us? The answer might lie in the very nature of reality. Our senses perceive only a sliver of the universe. Modern physics suggests extra dimensions may exist, hidden from us. Imagine a being from a higher dimension. Its abilities would seem like magic. If mantis humanoids are higher dimensional, their sudden appearances and disappearances would be simple for them. The mystery invites us to see reality with new eyes and wonder what secrets might be hiding just out of sight. Imagine a universe that is completely flat, like a sheet of paper. The inhabitants, squares, circles, triangles, live only in 2 dimensions, with no concept of up or down. If a 3-dimensional being visited, it could see inside their world, appearing as a miracle or mystery. What if we are like flatlanders, unable to perceive a 4th spatial dimension? If higher dimensions exist, our universe is far stranger and more complex than we can imagine. Where could these extra dimensions be hiding? For years, this was just a philosophical question. But string theory suggests our universe may have at least 10 dimensions, most curled up, far smaller than atoms. Imagine a garden hose. From afar, it looks one-dimensional, but up close, you see its circumference. String theory's extra dimensions are like that, hidden, tiny, yet fundamental. If we could access them, reality itself might look very different. Imagine seeing our world from a higher dimension. Everything would look different. A 4-dimensional being could see all sides and the inside of a cube at once. Nothing would be hidden from its gaze. If such beings exist, they could stand in a room with us, completely unseen. They might appear as a shimmer, a shadow, or a fleeting presence. Our universe could be just one layer in a vast multi-dimensional reality. We live on a single page of an infinite cosmic book. The idea of invisibility fascinates us, but true invisibility is more than camouflage. It means light passes around an object as if it isn't there. If a being could shift into a 4th spatial dimension, it would simply step out of our 3-dimensional space. Light would pass by, leaving no shadow, no trace. To us, the being would vanish, perhaps even walk through walls, its presence dictated by movements in a dimension we can only imagine. Telepathy. The idea of direct mind-to-mind communication. No words, no sound, just thoughts. For most, it's pure science fiction. But encounters with the mantis beings describe this exact phenomenon. Witnesses report thoughts and emotions appearing instantly in their minds. No voice, just understanding. Could this be a higher dimensional signal, bypassing our senses entirely? The silent conversation, real, but on a channel we never knew existed. If a telepathic signal exists, our brains must be able to receive it. This is perhaps the most challenging part of the puzzle. The human brain is an astonishingly complex organ, an intricate network of around 86 billion neurons. Every thought we have, every memory we recall, is encoded in patterns of electrical and chemical activity firing across these neural pathways. It is a biological machine of incredible sophistication. But is it just a machine for processing input from our five senses? Or could it have hidden capabilities, dormant potentials that we are only beginning to suspect? Modern neuroscience is revealing that the brain is far more sensitive than we once thought. It is susceptible to subtle influences from its environment. For example, we know that weak magnetic fields can affect brain activity. Some animals, like migratory birds, navigate using the Earth's magnetic field, a sense that is completely alien to us. This shows that biology can evolve to detect forces that are invisible and intangible to humans. What if the human brain has a latent sensitivity to other, even more subtle forces? Perhaps it can be influenced by the type of higher dimensional signals a mantis being might transmit. The process might not even be a conscious one. A telepathic message from a mantis being might not be like hearing a voice. It might be more like a subtle manipulation of one's own neural firing patterns. The being could, from its higher dimensional vantage point, interact with the electromagnetic field of a person's brain. It could gently nudge the flow of ions and neurotransmitters to create a pattern that the brain then interprets as a thought or an emotion. The person would feel the idea as their own, a sudden inspiration, or a profound realization, never knowing it was planted there by an external intelligence. This provides a chillingly elegant explanation for the reported telepathy. The mantis humanoid would not need to understand human language. It would only need to understand the universal language of brain chemistry and physics. It could communicate with any conscious being, regardless of species or culture, by directly interfacing with the biological hardware of thought itself. Our brains in this scenario are not just processors of information from our world. They are also potential receivers for information from another. They are radios perpetually tuned to a silent station, waiting for a signal to be sent. To explore telepathy, we must enter the quantum realm, where entanglement links particles instantly, no matter the distance. Some scientists wonder, could consciousness itself be a quantum phenomenon? If so, perhaps telepathy is a direct, non-local connection, like entangled minds. Though unproven, this idea blurs the line between physics, biology, and the very nature of self. Imagine a being existing in 4 spatial dimensions. Its communication could use forces beyond our senses, fields that pass through walls, targeting a single mind, invisible to all others. For such a being, telepathy isn't magic, it's physics, woven into the very geometry of the cosmos. The silent voices may be real, coming from a place just next door, in a direction we simply cannot point. What kind of world could give rise to a creature like the mantis humanoid? To imagine its evolution, we must let go of our Earth-centric biases. On a planet with higher gravity, an exoskeleton, stronger and lighter than chitin, could support a large, agile being. Its limbs, anchored to this advanced armor, would be powerful yet slender. Long limbs and a tall, thin body would help it navigate dense, vertical landscapes. Its physiology would be a masterclass in efficiency, shaped by a world far more alien than our own. The exoskeleton of a mantis humanoid would be a marvel, layered, tough, and flexible, like advanced biological armor. It would serve as both protection and an environmental suit, shielding it from hazards. Instead of lungs, it might breathe through a network of advanced gas exchange organs distributed throughout its body. Perhaps it metabolizes methane or hydrogen, thriving in an atmosphere toxic to us. This creature would be a natural product of evolution, alien, yet perfectly adapted to its world. The large, dark, seemingly pupilless eyes of the mantis humanoid hint at senses far beyond our own. It likely perceives a vast range of the electromagnetic spectrum, infrared, ultraviolet, and more. The world appears as a dazzling array of colors, energies, and hidden layers. Its body may sense vibrations, air pressure, and electromagnetic fields. This expanded sensory array could even allow for telepathy, reading thoughts and emotions directly. To such a being, we are utterly transparent, seen on every level, inside and out. The mantis humanoid's mind is a distributed network, fast, resilient, and able to process information from its entire body at once. Its consciousness is structured for four-dimensional perception, enabling telepathic communication and collective intelligence. This mind is its greatest tool, a perfect adaptation for a universe far stranger and more wonderful than we imagine. How does something so strange remain hidden in a world of 8 billion people? The answer isn't invisibility. It's exploiting how our brains construct reality. Our eyes take snapshots, our brains fill in gaps. A being could move in sync with our gaze, hiding in our blind spots, like a magician's sleight of hand. The art of not being seen is about intelligence, camouflage, and understanding the limits of perception. Our brains filter reality, discarding anything that doesn't fit our expectations. This mental filter keeps us sane, but it also blinds us to the impossible. If a mantis being stood before you, your mind might label it a shadow, a trick of the light, or simply erase it. These beings don't need to be invisible. Our own minds do the work for them. Like the famous gorilla in the room experiment, we miss what we're not prepared to see. The mantis humanoids hide in plain sight, camouflaged by our own perception. The mantis humanoid doesn't just hide physically, it hides in the gaps of our minds. It doesn't fit our categories, not animal, not human, not quite supernatural. Our brains reject what doesn't fit, and society ridicules those who claim to see it. The greatest camouflage is our own disbelief, reinforced by social pressure. These beings exist in a space we've agreed is impossible. They persist, protected by the walls of our shared reality. Memory is fragile, easily rewritten. A mantis being could alter your memory of an encounter, turning the impossible into a dream or a fleeting oddity. This psychic camouflage leaves you with only fragments, strange dreams, missing time, or a sense of unease. Each witness remembers something different, the truth buried under layers of confusion. The beings hide not just from our eyes, but within our memories. The real story is lost, replaced by a fiction our minds can accept. The mantis humanoid's best disguise is being unbelievable. Science demands evidence, but these beings leave none, only stories and feelings. To believe in them, you must abandon logic. To stay rational, you must ignore your own senses. They hide in the gap between experience and proof, safe in our skepticism. Pop culture turns them into jokes, making the truth even harder to accept. Their camouflage is perfect. The more you know, the less you believe. Tall, insect-like beings appear in ancient myths worldwide. Gods, spirits, and tricksters, with animal features guided or tested humanity. The praying mantis itself is a mystical figure in many cultures, sometimes seen as a prophet or creator. These stories may be distorted memories of real encounters, retold as myth. The archetype of the wise, non-human teacher is ancient and persistent. Perhaps our oldest stories are echoes of a hidden reality. In modern times, reports of alien abductions often feature mantis-like beings as the masterminds. Witnesses describe them as calm, telepathic, and in control, overseeing strange medical procedures. The details are eerily consistent across cultures and decades. Skeptics call it folklore, but the pattern is hard to ignore. If it's all imagination, why do so many see the same thing? The abduction phenomenon remains a mystery, one that blurs the line between myth, memory, and reality. The connection between strange entities and altered states of consciousness is as old as humanity itself. For millennia, shamans, mystics, and spiritual seekers have used various techniques to journey beyond the veil of ordinary perception. They used rhythmic drumming, fasting, meditation, or psychoactive plants to deliberately weaken the brain's perceptual filters. In these states, they reported entering other realities and communicating with intelligent spirit allies or plant teachers. And when we examine their descriptions of these entities, we once again find unsettling similarities to the mantis humanoids. Dr. Rick Strassman, in his research on the potent psychedelic compound DMT at the University of New Mexico, documented numerous encounters with what his subjects described as insectoid or mantis-like beings. These were not recreational users, but carefully screened volunteers in a controlled scientific study. Time and again, they reported being thrust into a bizarre, high-tech environment where they were met by these creatures. The beings were often described as performing some kind of operation or upgrade on the subject, interacting with them in a way that felt incredibly real, more real than normal reality. Similarly, an exploration of shamanic art and traditions from places like the Amazon rainforest reveals depictions of insect-like spirits. Shamans who use ayahuasca, a powerful psychedelic brew, speak of learning from these beings, who teach them about healing, the nature of the universe, and the spiritual world. These entities are not seen as aliens from another planet, but as hyper-intelligent denizens of a parallel dimension, a spiritual reality that is always present but normally invisible. The shamans believe that these beings are the true caretakers of the planet's biosphere, and that humans have much to learn from them. This raises a fascinating question. Are these experiences simply hallucinations produced by a brain in an unusual chemical state? Or are these altered states of consciousness actually opening a door, a sensory channel, to a layer of reality that is normally inaccessible? Perhaps DMT, meditation, or deep trance states act like a key, temporarily unlocking our minds to perceive higher dimensions. In this view, the mantis beings are not a hallucination. They are real entities, and these altered states simply allow us to tune into their frequency. The shaman's spirit world and the abductee's alien craft might be different cultural interpretations of the very same place. Putting all these pieces together, ancient myths, modern abduction reports, and shamanic visions, a startling picture begins to take shape. It is the picture of a hidden influence, a subtle but persistent interaction between our world and another. The mantis humanoids, if they exist, are not just passive observers. They seem to be interacting with humanity on a deep level, in ways we are only beginning to comprehend. They are not invaders in a military sense, but perhaps they are architects of a different kind, subtly shaping our development from behind the scenes for reasons of their own. What could their purpose be? The stories hint at several possibilities. Perhaps they are scientists, studying the evolution of consciousness on Earth. Our planet could be a vast biological preserve for them, a unique experiment they have been monitoring for millennia. The abductions and examinations might be their way of collecting data, like a biologist tagging a wild animal. This is a cold, clinical, and unsettling thought. It would mean we are not the masters of our own planet, but merely the most interesting specimens in a cosmic laboratory, our history and future guided by an unseen intelligence. Another, more hopeful possibility is that they are caretakers or gardeners. They might see humanity as a young, promising, but dangerously self-destructive species. Their interventions could be attempts to steer us away from catastrophe, to nudge our evolution in a more positive direction. They might be seeding new ideas into our consciousness, subtly influencing our art, science, and spirituality to help us mature as a species. In this view, they are not cold scientists but wise, albeit inscrutable guardians, trying to protect their investment in the unique experiment that is human consciousness. Ultimately, we are left with more questions than answers. The evidence is anecdotal, subjective, and buried in the noise of human culture and psychology. There is no smoking gun, no piece of technology we can analyze, no body we can dissect. All we have are the stories. But these stories, these echoes across time and culture, paint a consistent and compelling portrait of a secret world, intertwined with our own. They challenge us to consider that reality is far larger and stranger than we believe, and that we may not be alone, not in the vastness of space, but in the very room where we are sitting. We have journeyed to the edge of what we know, exploring higher dimensions, the mysteries of the mind, and the evolution of life beyond Earth. This tapestry is woven from threads of possibility, not certainty. The mantis humanoid is not a monster, but a plausible product of science, hiding in the blind spots of our senses. Its existence may not break the laws of the universe, but instead reveals how much we have yet to discover. The tapestry we've woven is a map of possibilities, inviting us to explore the unknown. We stand at a crossroads of belief and skepticism, invited to wonder at the mysteries that surround us. The story of the mantis humanoid challenges our certainty. reminding us the universe still holds secrets. We are infants in the cosmic nursery, just beginning to open our eyes. Embrace the mystery. Let curiosity unlock new possibilities. The story of science is the story of turning the impossible into the understood. Things that were once considered magic, lightning, disease, the stars in their courses, are now explained by natural laws. The next great frontier for science may not be in the vast distances of outer space, but in the hidden landscapes of inner space, the nature of consciousness, the structure of reality, and the possible existence of other dimensions. The mystery of the mantis humanoid touches on all of these frontiers. It is a signpost pointing toward the next great questions we need to ask. To investigate these questions, we will need new tools and new ways of thinking. Our current scientific method, based on collecting physical, repeatable data, is excellent for studying our three-dimensional world. But it may be inadequate for detecting a phenomenon that is intentionally elusive and exists partially outside of our reality. Perhaps future scientists will develop instruments that can detect subtle ripples in space-time, or technology that can safely and reliably map the altered states of consciousness where these encounters are so often reported. The science of tomorrow may look as different to us as our science would look to a medieval alchemist. We must also cultivate a new kind of open-mindedness, balanced with rigorous skepticism. We must be willing to investigate anomalous phenomena without prejudice, to follow the data wherever it leads, even if it leads to uncomfortable or paradigm-shifting conclusions. This means listening to the stories of witnesses not as proof, but as valuable data points that can reveal patterns. It means taking seriously the most advanced and speculative ideas in theoretical physics. The search for truth requires courage, the courage to challenge our own assumptions and to venture into the dark. The universe is under no obligation to make sense to us. It is vast, ancient, and likely filled with wonders that exceed our wildest dreams and our most terrifying nightmares. The faint whisper of the mantis humanoid is a call from that wider universe. It asks us to look up from our small, familiar world and to contemplate the sheer scale of what might be possible. Whether they are real beings of flesh and blood, projections from another dimension, or powerful archetypes from the human collective unconscious, they serve a vital purpose. They remind us that the greatest adventure has only just begun. The next horizon is not a place, but a new understanding of reality itself.